Hello, rail fans, and welcome to French Fried Trains. It's Tuesday, July 20th, 2021. Word online that day was Norfolk Southern, number 4003, was heading my way. So we headed out on a very hot and hazy morning down to the bridge in downtown Dayton to wait for this train. I would end up waiting an hour before anything showed up. The first thing that showed up was a high railer, and I didn't film him. After that, something else was coming, but it was not what I expected. Check that out. A Sperry high rail truck. Cruising slowly and testing the rails. That's the first time I've caught one of these in person. About half an hour after he passed, reports online showed that the train I was waiting on was last reported 25 miles away from me, and it had been about half an hour since the report, so I was assuming he was coming at any time. But that would end up to not be the case, as a few minutes later, this train rolled in. Check that out. An SD70 Ace leads, followed by an ES44 DC. Trailing in the third position is a Dash 9 with a mismatched panel on the side. Although this Norfolk Southern train was heading the opposite direction from the one I was waiting on, letting me know that it was going to be a while before that train showed up. A little bit of everything on this one. And check out the weird patch job on this tank car. And a couple of Herzog ballast cars here. Soon enough, the end of the train would go by. About half an hour after he passed, I heard another train coming. But it would end up not being the one I was waiting on. It was a CSX. A pair of Jevos crossing the bridge. An ES44AH leads, followed by an ES40 DC. Even a random 5-pack of empty intermodal well cars mixed in on this manifest train. And look at this. This shiny new GATX boxcar has been tagged with graffiti. I've been seeing a few of these new GATX boxcars the last few times I've been rail fanning, and someone's already tagged it with spray paint. And after only about 3 minutes, the tail end of the train went by. About 15 minutes, maybe 20 after he passed, I heard the rumble of another engine. A second CSX was coming up right behind him. Check that out, 3 locomotives on this one, a pair of ES44AHs, and trailing in the 3rd position, an SD40-2. Always awesome to catch an EMD on these big freight trains, even if it is trailer. This train was a bit bigger than the one that preceded it. It took about 7 minutes to go by. Here's an old Wisconsin Central boxcar. And check out these bright green air slide cars. And here we see an older Canadian National boxcar. About 5 minutes in and the train's still going. And check out these Procore cylindrical covered hoppers. Finally, the end of this freight train passes by. While waiting for the next train, there was a roar in the skies. A pair of fighter jets flew over. I missed the first one, and you can just barely make out the second one on the video here. Moments behind the fighter jet, a bigger military aircraft came in. It was too far away for me to tell exactly what it was, but all 3 of them were on a flight path to take them down the glide slope and land at Wright-Patterson Air Force Base, just outside of Dayton. And minutes after that, a civilian passenger jet flew over, taking a different path to Dayton International Airport. And then finally, after 3.5 hours of waiting, the train I went out for showed up. Check that out. Norfolk Southern 4003 leads. A DC to AC conversion black bonnet. Trailing, we have an ES44AC and another AC44C6M DC to AC conversion with fresh shiny paint. This is actually the third time I've caught a black bonnet at this very spot, but this is probably the best shot I've gotten of it. This was a fully loaded grain truck. This one took a while to go by too. Since it was all covered hoppers, I skipped most of it. And finally, after a successful 3.5 hour rail fanning day, that was the last train I got. I headed home. So that's all for this episode. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And everyone have a great week. Stay safe out there, rail fans.